we should not go by it, because it is very very temporary. Whatever appears right to us today might be wrong to us tomorrow. We cannot take that as the basis and follow something. It has to be given to us by Vedas. Then we can trust it. Next one. வேதத்தில் சொன்னதை காலத்திற்கு ஒத்தவா கருத்தினில் கொள்ள வேண்டும் உந்தி பெற மறுதற்கு இடமில்லை உந்தி பெற. Anybody wants to tell the anybody else?
Even if it is prescribed in the Vedas, the path that you want to take for mukti should be appropriate for the age that we are in. So we know that there are different yugas where the prescribed paths were different, but as far as Kali Yuga is concerned, those paths won't work because of so many reasons that we have deteriorated, our values have decreased, our memory power has decreased and so on. So there's only the simple path of Nama Sankirtan that will work for this age.
Very nice. So the next two verses is kind of related to the one that we learned last week. That's why we are revising and continuing. In the verses that we are going to learn today, though these some other path besides Nama Sankirtanam also is prescribed in Vedas, why it is not relevant for today, or why it is not applicable for majority of the people, the Guruji is explaining. Okay, that is the verse 9 and 10 that we are going to learn today. வேதத்தில் சொன்னதை காலத்திற்கு ஒத்தவா கருத்தினில் கொள்ள வேண்டும் உந்தி பெற மறுதற்கு இடமில்லை உந்தி பெற. 10th one. வேள்வியியற்றிட வேண்டிய திரவியம் இன்று கிட்டுமோ உந்தி பெற கிட்டதாதல் வினை என்று உந்தி பெற. In fact, I learnt a lot when I was hearing pravachans on this verse, and it really was very eye-opening to understand how the path of yajna and yagas are not really applicable for today's world. See, whenever we do yaga and yajnas, there are certain ingredients that we need to perform those yagas and yajnas, like ghee and all of that, right? So it is said there are certain rules that we need to follow on the quality of those ingredients also. See, the water that we are using for yagas and yajnas cannot be from the tap. That is what we always use, Ilya. It should be from the well. So where can we go to get the well water? And even the ghee and the darbai that is used for doing yagas have to be pure. So the amount of acharam that is needed to do yagas and yajnas also is something that we cannot even imagine to follow. Even if we see the acharam that our parents have followed, our grandparents have followed, even if we want to follow, we cannot. Because for me to follow that much acharam, people around me also need to follow that, to maintain that. Yeah? And whenever we perform these yagas and yajnas, those are the offerings that is made to devatas. And devatas will not even come near if there is no acharam. They cannot accept, and it does not work based on kripa. Even if you do little bit of effort, you will get the palan. Even if you chant one nama, you will get the palan. These yagas and yajnas don't work like that. It is not analog. It is digital. Even if you the code 1 2 3 4 is the code. You remember 1 2 3. I forgot the last digit. Now I don't unlock. You have to really remember the full code to unlock. Digital la irukano. Andha madri yagas and yajnas need to be performed with perfect acharam. The ingredients that you need to use for those yagas and yajnas also have to be perfect. See, if you have to feed a fish, you put some food only in the water, the fish will be able to eat that, accept and eat it. Similarly, only if you follow that much of perfection in the process, and also even in collecting the ingredients when you do the yaga and yajna, it will work. Otherwise, it won't work. It won't have its palan. So that is what it is said in this verse. So without even explaining how practical it is for us, we all know from our level of acharam how much it will work for us. Yeah? So it's not practical for most of us to follow that kind of strict rules that is needed to perform yagas and yajnas. So that is the essence of this verse. So we will recite once and then move to the next one. Yeah. So Velvi Iyetrida means to perform Velvi. Vendiya Diravya means the ingredients required to do the Velvi, means yaga. Indra Kittumo, do we get those? Today. See, another thing I'm remembering on this is whenever we need to do yagas and yajnas, another rule is you have to touch the earth. Yeah, for doing yagas. See, imagine if our house is in the second floor. We'll be doing somewhere and hanging in the air, Madri will be doing it won't have its palan. So, that is also another important. The place also needs to be relevant to perform. So in this one, Indra Kittu means, Indra Kittumo, do we get it today? Undiyar, Kittadadal, Vine, Endru Undiyar. So because we don't get it, we cannot perform it to perfection. Vine means waste. Okay, let's go to the next one. Niyamangal nirainda yoga margatil niyamam tavarinal Undiyar buddhi pedalikum endundiyar. So in the previous verse we heard about yagas and yajnas. In this verse Guruji is talking about the path of Raja Yoga. Not the different types of yoga classes that we go to keep our body fit. Not that. This is the Patanjali Yoga, which is followed by some people to realize the self. Raja Yogam, Raja Margam. So that path. So in that path, it is very, very important to have sense control. Indriyangal should be in control, which means you cannot hear any song, anything, any talks. You can only hear what you are supposed to hear. You can only talk what you are supposed to talk. You can only eat what you are supposed to. You can only see what you are supposed to see. You cannot see everything and anything. So all the senses should be controlled. That is the first step. That itself will answer how much we can follow that. And in this path, even if you try to follow little bit, it won't be effective. You have to follow to perfection. And if you do some mistake, something goes wrong, it will even affect you. It will have adverse effects. So that's why Guruji says, Hasyama, if you in the path of yoga, if you do some mistakes, miss some niyamas, instead of becoming a yogi, you will become a rogi. It means you will become sick. Why? Your mind will get disturbed. Something will go wrong with your thinking if something goes wrong in the path that you follow in the path of Raja Yoga. And also in this verse, if you see the second line, Guruji here says, Niyamam Tavarinal, which means even one Niyamam, it's not Niyamangal. He's saying in singular, even if in the rules that you have to follow, even if you miss a single rule, and small thing might also have adverse effects. So that is how difficult is the path of Raja Yoga. There might be some people who follow that, it might work for them, but it is very rare. It is not easy for a common man to follow the path of Raja Yoga and attain Bhagavan. So we'll do this one twice and then we'll conclude for today. Niyamangal nirainda yoga margatil niyamam tavarinal Undiyar buddhi pedalikum endundiyar. Niyamangal nirainda गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्द गोविन्द। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।